Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show.
Surprise, surprise, surprise. We are all together today for Wholesale Hotline number 83. Are you kidding me? Hey, we are all decked out
TTP party!
in TTP gear because we are talking about cold calling today on Wholesale Hotline number 83.
Yes.
Let's tell them the truth. The truth is these guys just got wrapped up with their world famous TV show that's about to be released on October 2nd.
Yes, sir.
And that is at noon on
sir.
A&E.
Yes.
And they just got done with their final, some of the final shots.
This is our final
exciting.
week. This is our last week of filming. I feel like we're going to get our life back. And we're going to be probably doing a whole bunch of things, traveling the country, doing all sorts of cool stuff. But today they let us off set a little bit late. And so we go, you know what? What was the last time we were in TTP studio?
When was the last time we were all together?
Yes.
Dude, this is how Wholesale Hotline started.
Yep.
Yes.
Was the three of us dummies sitting around at a table in
that
that
room.
right there.
Yep.
With our little cell phone,
Mm-hmm.
and people would call in.
It would be busy. Yep.
Oh my gosh. Amazing.
It's a TTP pajama party. Woo woo. That's right. Hey guys, we need a lot of participation today because we've got Matt back there. He's going to pick out all the questions. We really want to deep dive how to get deals from picking up the phone, being proactive, and really how it affects not only, just going direct to seller, but also to people that represent the sellers, to other investors, to anybody that maybe they're going out, they're getting a lot of leads, but they're not perfect wholesale leads, to convert them over to something that's creative and to build that side of the team. It's all about communication and talking to people. Guys, if you boil it all down, everything that we talk about and everything that we do is it comes back to communication. It comes back to having quality conversations with property owners in our marketplace. And that's what we did to build our business. That's what we continue to do. And that's how we built our companies, is to really pour gasoline on our own efforts with other people.
Love
Right?
that.
Look at my one of my favorite people of all time is in the comments. Matt, I need you to select Tom Kroll. And
where is he?
Tom Kroll is in the
No, he's not.
Bam!
Oh, bam!
I literally just texted Tom Kroll the other night and said, I just love you, man.
What's up, Tommy? We love you, brother.
He's amazing. He's amazing. Tom Kroll in the house. Good to see everybody in here. Now, the whole show today is about cold calling,
That's right.
right? And generating leads.
That's right.
So do I have a business if I don't have leads?
No. Nope.
It's interesting.
It's the engine of your business. That's the start. That's the biggest hurdle that everybody feels as you start. When you make the decision to be a real estate entrepreneur, the first thing is, well, how do I find opportunities?
Right.
That's it. That's the first thing. And you've got three. I'll see you next week. Yeah, we're going to be in Tampa next week.
Tampa.
You guys remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is it's not called TTS. It's called TTP, right? TTS is talk to sellers. It's not just about talking to sellers.
Yep.
Sometimes it's talking about just talking to real estate agents,
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's talking to wholesalers.
Mm-hmm.
right? But you have to be talking to people actively and generating leads in your business.
Correct.
Listen, talking to attorneys, talking to title companies, communicating with hard money lenders, communicating with
Insurance agents.
Sure, traditional lenders, conventional lenders. I mean, it all comes down to the ability to communicate effectively what your vision is for your company and how you can help people out in the community that won't help themselves. And one thing that I wanted to hit on, and I wanted to kind of open this up so that we can let this breathe a little bit, is I had a great question from a student named Carrie, and he's in Atlanta, and he said, will you help me understand the 4 different personality types, right? And how to communicate with it. And I thought that this was really interesting because this is something, there's a book called Versatile Selling. It's a thin book. It's very dry, but it's very good. It's called Versatile Selling. It goes through the fact that there are driver personalities, there are analytical personalities, and typically those 2 are low emotion. And then there's expressives, and then there's amiable personalities. And those are high emotion people. And let me ask you guys this. Maybe it's different for you guys than it is for me, but I find that if I look back at the sellers of the properties that we've closed over the last 7-8 years, I would say probably 75% are either amiable or expressive.
100%,
right?
Yeah.
100%. It's the type of person who, and I please don't take this with a grain of salt, right? But if you are the kind of person that has overactive emotions,
Right.
you might find yourself in a situation where you have to sell your house for cash.
Right.
It's a thing, right?
Well, not only that, but it's, I think that people that are amiable and express and they have those emotions, 1, oftentimes they're embarrassed.
Right.
2, they don't want to drag other people into their situation. So that's why we have this almost plague in our business called ghosting, because these people are so sweet that they can't tell you no. They can't tell you I can't have you over right now, or I can't make a decision right now, or they just stiff arm you to make a decision.
Right. It's
because they literally are just like so overwhelmed with making decisions, and they don't want to drag us into it. It's wild.
Yes.
What about creative?
Same thing. Absolutely. Well, here's the thing is, like with seller finance, I just bought 4 seller finance deals on Friday by TTPing with a TTP student.
Who?
Katie.
No. She is just.
You know why? Because she stays on the phone.
Yep.
She stays on the phone.
And you know what TTP means when Katie gets a deal?
Take to pace. So yeah, I love that. And the thing is, I love breaking down the 4 personality types by color. I'm a color guy. So I learned you've got red. What do you think red is? D.
Probably a
D.
driver. Yeah, it's
D,
like fire.
Go.
Right? Explain
Fire.
what a driver is.
I'm going to explain what all 4 colors are in a very simple story. I've told this story a couple of times. So you've got red, you've got blue, you've got green, and you've got yellow. Yellow is expressive. Okay. Blue is amiable, or what did you call it? Is that what you call it? Amiable. And then green is analytical.
Yeah.
Okay. So check this out. Imagine there's 4 wives, and they're all individually married. One wife is married to a red personality. Another wife is married to a blue personality. Another wife is married to a green personality, and another wife is married to a yellow personality.
Yep.
All 4 wives say, all right, husbands, go to Walmart, and I want you to go grab me a gallon of milk. Here's what's going to happen. Okay. The blue personality is going to be found in the milk aisle, looking at the color of the handle, the brand, right? They are way more susceptible to marketing, right? It's more emotions. Like, how does this color make me feel, right? You guys ever heard the thing of like blue is the color of trust? Well, that works on amiable people. Okay. Blue is the color of trust. So Shamrock Farms, there's no coincidence why their color is blue. Oreo, blue, right? A lot of brands choose blue because they know it grabs those amenable or amiable people. Okay. So that person's standing in the aisle, in the milk aisle, and they're just looking at all the brands. They're looking at all the brands and how does the brand make me feel? Okay. Then the green person is standing next to them, looking at the expiration date, the price, how large the gallon of milk is, discounts,
brands.
Maybe if I reach in the way back in the milk department, I can grab one with a later expiration date so that I can buy a larger thing of milk, whatever.
They're literally in the milk aisle looking up other discounts at other
Yes,
grocery
yes.
stores while they're in front of the milk aisle.
Yes.
For real.
So the green and blue are standing there,
Mhm.
right? And then what happens with red is that red walks up behind both of them
Mhm.
and pushes them to the side and says, get the hell out of my way, grabs any color they want, any brand, anything. My wife told me to go execute this. I'm going to go execute it. And red's out the door before green and blue actually make their decision.
Mhm.
Okay.
And
Now,
yellow's caught at the entrance chatting. somebody
yellow
else.
never made it past the Walmart greeter.
Oh my God.
Yellow never made it to the milk aisle. Okay.
Mhm.
That is how you break down the personality styles. Okay.
Well, and I think that this is oh yeah, you do look fine in that hoodie.
Who said that?
Everybody.
right there, Michael
Everybody.
Diaz, looking mighty fine in that
Oh,
hoodie. There
thank
it is.
you. I'll
No,
take
but
it.
the important thing is when you're reaching out, when you're communicating with a lot of people, you're going to understand these different personality types, and you're going to find that the drivers are typically when you ask them if they would consider an offer with their property, their normal typical response is, how much will you give me?
Right.
All right. So let's rewind just 1 second in case anybody doesn't know. When you pick up the phone and you ask a property owner if they would consider an offer on their property, there's only 6 responses that you will get. Okay. This is critical that you understand the 6 responses so you know how to respond. The first response that we love the best, obviously, is yes, I do want to sell. All right. The second one is no, I never want to sell. Okay. The third one is maybe in the future. The fourth one is our driver one, which is how much will you give me? How much, right? The fifth one is who are you? And the sixth one is how'd you get my number? That's really it.
Those are great. Hey, Matt, will you throw Eddie Hernandez's little emojis on there? I really like that. And then
Love it.
also Tanisha Epps, if you don't mind, Tanisha is the best note taker of all time. Somebody in the side chat, please, maybe it's Tanisha, maybe it's somebody else, write down those 6 things that Brent just talked about, because that's so critically important. There's only 6 things that a seller is ever going to say. Do you mind saying them one more time?
It's in the TTP script. They can get it at TTP Insider. Matt, if you can run that, I don't know if you can do that. Anyway, TTP Insider, it's in the script there, but it's yes, no, maybe in the future. How much will you give me? Who are you? And how'd you get my number? That's the only 6 responses. It's some form of those 6. So I think a lot of people don't pick up the phone and get proactive. One, because of confidence, because I don't know what to say. Right. I am a teacher. I am from the military. I am a truck driver. I've been doing these. I have not been having conversation. I'm 17 years old. I'm 19. I haven't been having conversations with distressed property owners, and I'm nervous to do it. I'm nervous to screw up. I'm nervous that I don't really understand what to say. If you understand that they only can respond to you 6 ways, you are going to be so much more confident.
100%.
You're going to be more confident.
I got a question for you. So, we talk about the colors of the sellers, but are there colors of salesmen that are on the phone, right? So let's say if I'm a green personality, do you think?
What
are you?
Oh God,
Well,
they call me the Christmas tree, bro.
Yeah.
I got them. I got all the colors.
Because you're definitely a driver, but you're also very expressive.
Mm-hmm.
So you might be the guy that buys the house from the Walmart greeter.
I'm also the guy that can run it. Like Cody Barton, my partner, will call me
after he bought the milk.
Yes,
on his way out.
Yes,
right.
Yes, okay. yes. So they call me a Christmas tree. I have all the colors, but I am heavy red, heavy yellow. Okay, so here's the thing: if I'm a heavy green and I'm about to get on the phone to cold call, the likelihood of me overthinking before I cold call is that pretty high?
Yes.
Okay, and do you think knowing these 6 items is what I need to get over the hump?
That's why I wanted to bring this up. If you are naturally analytical, you have an engineer mind. Here's what you have to do. Get everything, and this is really for everybody, but especially for analytical. Get everything out of the way, right? When you're ready to make your calls, you literally press the button and you make calls. If you are adjusting your dialer, if you're adjusting your lists, if you're combing through to make sure that these haven't sold yet before you put them into your list and start calling, you are going to be held back, right? So my advice
is that what you call creative avoidance?
Yeah, well, with analyticals, it's just a natural process. They have to get everything in order before they feel comfortable going forward.
Right.
So what I'm saying is get it all in so that you could just press go and go forward. So don't try to mix and match. Well, I'm going to upload these and hopefully just start making calls. Just get it all set up the way that you like it, the way that you're comfortable, and then press go.
Is there a place where people can go to, like a website, where they can take a test and figure out what color they are?
Yeah,
Where would that be?
The best one, I personally think, is Tony Robbins has one that's so good. So guys, look up Tony Robbins
disc test.
It's very good. It's free. There's other websites that like other people have, but they end up costing you money. Tony Robbins is free.
Yeah.
The disc test is interesting because we disc test everybody who gets hired at Keegley.
Everybody.
But what we actually didn't do in the beginning was do that.
Yeah,
and
and
so
it's very obvious that you guys do that now because I've never seen anybody have better employees ever.
Well, they're all in the right places.
What do you mean by that?
So the thing we learned, right? When you hire somebody, you bring the responsibility of having them in your organization to your life, right? And if you hire somebody and you put them in the wrong spot, you failed. They didn't fail, you failed. And so we had situations where we had the wrong person in the wrong seat. We had an analytical person having to go out there and have conversations with people where they just needed to be more expressive, or they needed to be more amiable, or they needed to be more of a driver. And so you find the right person for the right seat, you win the game.
Yep.
All
I mean,
day.
it's huge.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that you've got people that have green personalities that are maybe overly analytical that actually have a perfect fit in a large organization and wholesaling real estate?
Of course.
And you're not trying to change who they are. You're just amplifying who they are and you're putting them in the right spot.
You need to do what you are made to do. And that might mean squat up with somebody who doesn't necessarily have, or doesn't have that has complementary traits to you, not the same traits,
right,
but complementary traits to you, so that you have opportunities to excel.
You know what I was made to do? Ring a bell.
Oh, he's ringing it. Here we go.
Oh, I've been wanting to do that. Let me
Look
do
at
that.
this. I'll tell you.
What are you ringing for?
We're out of control here. We're out of control. That's for everybody. People are talking about some deals in there. Hey, guys, by the way, we want to celebrate you. If you have closed a deal, if you talked to your first seller today, if you drove for dollars for the first time and you got out of your car and knocked on a house that looked like it was distressed, put in what actions you took today. We want to celebrate you. We want to recognize you. And especially if you have closed a deal, I mean, absolutely, we want to celebrate you, or locked up, some creative financing deal, or added to your portfolio. We want to hear about it, because the more that you post here, the more people are going to see. And if they're in your area, they can squad up, which is the whole point of the show. So make sure you put in your success that you've had this week, or any actions that you have been taking. I know it's Monday, but it's a great way to start it all up and get the communication in the group going.
What is your disc profile, Brent?
Expressive.
You don't say.
Yeah. So expressive.
Holy
sure.
guys, did
Now,
anybody else have him pegged there?
This is the problem that I had in my 20s, early 30s. I wanted to be a driver. I pretended I was a driver. I wanted to be a tough boss, a real boss, not a leader. I wanted to be a boss. Right? It was something about like, machismo and like, all the coolest movies and all the coolest shows,
Ferragamo shoes
and Ferragamo shoes and all those things. And it totally backfired. So what I would say is, first of all, I think that you should understand who you are and what you're doing. Like, if people probably see your schedule and they're like, I want to do that. Well, if you're not a quadruple driver, then it's not going to bring joy into your life. It's not going to give you that fulfillment, right? You're going to be running. You're going to put some sacrifices in, and it's not going to be working out. But if you are that quadruple driver, then, open up the floodgates. Just make sure that you have an incredible family to support you, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
We had one viewer lock up 6 contracts from the same seller. Come on, baby.
Are you kidding me? Half a dozen.
Booyah.
Half a
Booyah.
dozen in a day, dog?
Oh, my goodness.
Come on.
But honestly, yeah, Jason, you put it perfectly there. Self-awareness is critical. Understanding what you are. And listen, there's probably some just natural, innate personalities that are in there. Just go with who you are. Go with what's natural. You don't have to be bombastic like me all the time. You don't have to be killing it all the time over here. You don't have to be as refined in your approach and building this huge corporation like Jamil. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be who you are and what you're doing, and you could be successful in this business. Remember, the business of wholesaling is just the ATM. It's just the cash machine. This is just funding all these other exciting things in your life. Not everybody's building franchises. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, it's just not. Most people, 99.99999% of people will not sell their wholesaling business.
I thought it wasn't even sellable until we did what we did.
Right.
Yep.
I had always been told that you can't sell a wholesale business. It's transactional.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You guys have proved that that's wrong for you
That's true.
guys.
So what I'm saying is use this business. Any personality type can use this business to fund all of your assets, to fund your portfolio, to fund whatever it is for building wealth. You can get rich wholesaling. You're not going to get wealthy. You get wealthy by buying assets and letting your money make you money.
Guys, go on freaking YouTube right now. Look at Wholesale Hotline is all together right now.
Get
What
to
are you
YouTube.
What are you guys doing
What
right
are you
now?
doing?
Go to YouTube. Look at all these
What's
other
the
people
matter
right
for
now.
ya? What's the matter for you?
When was the last time you saw the triple-headed snake all together right here? Look at this.
Come on now.
Fabian, great job. Brian, great job. I mean, just guys, be loud. Just picked up a check. Claudio picked up a check
Boom.
for $11K for a Keegley Dispo deal on Friday.
Wow.
Come on, Blair.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna ring that.
You guys thought these guys are pent up. You know, I usually save it to 2 or 3 rings.
Who wanted to
The
ring
bill's
that?
already there in the first 21 minutes.
Is
This
there
crazy?
Is there a personality color that you would say should stay away from the phones?
I think it's the toughest for analyticals.
Okay.
But what I have found is all the engineers that I've worked with, it's like a 90-day really fist fight, and then they break through. And the funny thing about analytical personalities is once you get them going,
They can't be stopped.
they can't be stopped. They can't be stopped.
They get
just
obsessed.
go and go and go and go and go. So I think that there's a consistency factor there that outweighs some of their kind of their inexperience with having saying a lot of words every single day.
So if you're an analytical person, here's the thing. You have to get yourself on the ride and you have to be going up the roller coaster.
Yep.
Okay. Then you're in good shape, but it's getting through the line, getting on the ride where you might have issues.
Yep.
It's kind of like a turbocharged vehicle. You know, when it starts whistling, it takes a little bit to get that turbocharge kind of like pent up. And then once it starts whistling, it just freaking takes off.
Right. Kind of like us with
Crazy.
the bell right now.
Yes.
I think people like when we're I think people like us in the same room.
I mean, this is
This is
like the
magic
best
going on.
I've felt
Yeah.
doing a hotline
Yeah.
since
In a long time.
Hotline
Guys,
1.
should we come back into the studio?
Yeah.
Should we
come back into the
just be
studio?
doing this show in studio?
Let us know in the comments, please, if we should get together on this.
Are we
It's gonna
better
be
in
tough.
person?
Maybe, Boone, really, listen, ugly properties. That's what you want to talk. That's who you want to talk to. So literally don't overthink it. Just go out into your community and find the ugliest properties that you can and call them up. You can do that really easy with Batch Driven. Batch Driven's an app where you drive around and you can add those to your database, and it pulls all the owner information. So you know if it's vacant, if it's owner occupied, if it's a rental, what's going on, how long they've owned those properties. And something, just kind of a tip, as you're doing your driving for dollars, remember you're looking for the best deals are going to come from people that have owned it 7+ years. All right. The average is 7 years that people own a property. And so you're catching them right at the perfect time that they're going to make a decision. So look at that. All right.
Yeah, we got a lot of love for us being together in studio. Holy jeez.
I think they can hear you for the first time.
Oh man.
I think so. But let me just give a couple more like fundamental,
Please.
so that we can really open this up. So number one is you got 6 responses when you ask somebody if they would consider an offer. Number 2 is you need to understand that it comes down to your tone of voice, your pacing, and the words that you're using. All right. Tone of voice, pacing, and the words that you're using. And really those 3 things you want to watch. Okay, because your tone of voice you have to have energy behind your voice. And listen, if you feel like you don't have a lot of energy or you're just not as expressive, honestly, fake it. I mean, honestly, like just assume that you're in a movie role and you have to be like on the phones and making calls like you're in Wolf of Wall Street or something, or whatever it is that you can attach to that, and just have that enthusiasm. I mean, if you can't get energy thinking about how much value you're going to provide when you get people out of these situations that they're not going to solve themselves, and you get paid $10, $15, $20, $50,000 to do it, maybe it's just not the right business for you.
Right.
You know,
if you can't
maybe,
get excited about that, then find something that gets you excited.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to hear something exciting?
Yeah.
Cass Me Outside NYC says, I've made $45K over the last 5 months because of you guys. Love you.
45,000. Well, you can ring the bell for that. You got to ring. Face us.
Jamil, ring that bell, bro.
Yeah.
So, pace. The tone of voice and your pacing. Remember, if you're talking to people that are driver personalities and they get to the point right away, you got to get to the point right away. If it's somebody that's slower and more analytical, you got to be slower, especially if they're older, older versus younger. It just depends. Make sure you're not blowing them out with how fast you're talking. And then the third one is just the words that you use. And really what I mean by that is, ask really good questions. Ask some good open-ended questions that really let the conversation marinate a little bit. And the longer that you have that conversation, the more they're going to open up, and they're going to.
Let's come up with some open-ended questions that would be really, really good. Okay.
What remodeling have you done to your kitchen and bathrooms in the last 5 years?
Ooh, that's a great one.
Okay.
I like that one because it's non-judgmental,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you get a lot of people. I see wholesalers that are like very judgmental of sellers' houses. They feel like they're going to come in and beat up the seller's home.
Mm-hmm.
And get them to reduce their price. Oh yeah, you're right. My house does look like crap.
Right.
I'm going to give you a discount. Nope. That's a great question. It gets them talking.
Yeah.
Another one is I always assume that there's a black swan in their world. And a black swan is an unknown person behind the scenes, right? Could be their brother, their mother, their realtor friend, their real estate agent, whatever. Okay. You always want to say, hey, with the real estate market being what it is, I imagine you're talking to other investors. Tell me, why haven't you sold your home yet?
Right.
Okay. And what we do is we get people go, oh, well, my realtor said this, and then my buddy said this, and they start spilling the beans and they start giving you all the ammunition. What a lot of people do is they want to hide from that information and pretend like it doesn't exist.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I run right into it because I know that that's my cachet of ammunition sitting right there. I'm going to pull those little things out, right? And I'm going to utilize them one at a time back at them, right? So for example, somebody says, well, my realtor, who's my brother, it says this, this, and this. Like, oh my gosh, is he crushing it right now in the market? How many houses he sold in the last 12 months, right? You can throw that back into the pot, a little bit more political of a response than that. But another one is catch me up to speed.
That's it. I was going to say, yeah.
It's my favorite thing. I've been saying it for 6-7 years. Catch me up to speed. And sometimes they have no idea what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And so you go, well, just let me know how's the process been so far of trying to sell your home? Who else have you been speaking to? How has that gone?
So good.
What are you looking for that you haven't received yet? Because if we're going to make something happen, I want to make sure I can get you what you need. So catch me up to speed, not catch me outside.
Catch me outside.
Okay.
How about that?
Catch me up to speed.
Catch me outside.
So what about asking the homeowner to tell you what the favorite thing about their house is?
Love it.
And then following that up with, okay, now that you've given me that great list of favorites, what don't you like about your house? Just to get them primed and speaking truthfully to you. That's great.
Love it. Love it.
I heard one the other day from one of my students. I had never heard this before. Maybe you teach this. I don't know. Maybe it's a TTP thing.
Yeah.
The thing was, imagine I give you a Home Depot gift card of $50,000. What are you spending that 50 grand on first?
Oh, that's so good.
I know.
Because you're like just basically lifted up their carpet without them seeing you do that.
Right.
Oh my God, that's so juicy.
Yep.
I'm gonna ring the
Juicy.
See, this is why we can't have nice nice things, guys.
Jamil's gonna break that bell.
I'm gonna break the bell.
There's another version of it with a magic wand, right? If you had a magic wand and you could wave it over your house and fix anything or update anything, what would you do first? Right? You can ask that question. One that I really like that Ryan Thornton, my acquisition manager, absolutely crushes with.
How is that guy an acquisition manager and not like a Playgirl model or
Listen,
something,
we've
dude?
got, hey, do you have Mr. July? Oh,
Bro,
you
you
gotta get Mr. July.
please.
Wait for this. Wait for this.
Is he
So,
legit?
Yeah,
Like-
yeah. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. So anyway, he asked the question, "What's your goal with the property?"
Oh,
I like that
And
one.
then he goes, what's your goal for when you want your money?
Oh,
Yeah.
what are you gonna do with your money?
Now he knows. He's like, now we know the timeline. Now we know what typically
Desire.
what the motivation is, why they want to sell this property. I said this to Aaron Bevan's group a few days ago, which was a phenomenal group.
Superhumans.
A real shoot,
They're
shout
incredible.
out to Aaron Bevans in that group. But I said, if you have to ask them why they want to sell their property, you haven't done your job right.
Right.
If you have to just bluntly ask them, why are you selling this property? Then you didn't ask them about the condition. You didn't ask them about their timeline. Because if you ask them about the condition and their timeline, they're going to tell you the motivation.
Word.
They're going to tell you. If you've gotten that far and you're getting, can you tell me what remodeling have you done? And that opens it up. And then they start telling you that the tenants have lived there, that there was a fire, that there's termites, that there's flooding or whatever else. All of a sudden, these motivations start bubbling to the surface and you know that you can do it.
So I like that one. Similar question I ask is, what are you trying to accomplish?
Love it.
Right? What are you trying to accomplish?
Yeah.
Or I use the magic wand question.
Mm-hmm.
If I gave you a magic wand and you could have money in your pocket and live in a new place and this transaction is all the way done, what does that look like? Paint me a picture. Let me know what that looks like, right?
Love it.
Well, I love using the word paint me a picture or the phrase paint me a picture and then shutting up and giving them the floor to show what personality they are. By this time, you should know what personality they are.
Yep.
That question doesn't typically work for a driver, right? But it works with all the other three. Okay. It doesn't work with a driver. Usually with a driver, I'll ask questions like, why haven't you sold the house yet? You little bitch.
Yeah.
Would you say that working with drivers is the hardest seller?
No.
What's the hardest seller?
Analyticals.
An analytical?
Yeah.
Analytical, yeah.
And it's analyticals are the humans of our species that take care of all the rest of us. I mean, listen, they are the most reliable. They're the most responsible.
Yeah.
They're the most they're probably the most anxious. They're probably the most, have to really think. So, when you deal with typically the only deals that I've done with analyticals are when they inherit the property.
Right? Oh yeah. All day.
It's a property that they look at this thing and they think of 5,000 steps that they don't want to take or can't take right now because of whatever's going on in their life. And then you get them.
Gosh, this only makes me want to talk to sellers because I love talking to analyticals because it's where I practice all my good stuff.
Sure.
Because I know that no matter what, I'm just going to be able to harness and practice and hone in on stuff that's going to work really, really well for other people. So I try and guide analytical people by, again, asking questions to get them to where I want them to go.
Look at Raymond.
All right, I'm going to use that one. Why haven't you sold your house, you little bitch?
Little bit.
It works on red personalities, guys.
Oh my gosh.
Hey, Matt, would you scroll up to Darcy? Not that it's Darcy Coker, but a previous one up there. Go up, right. Up. Sorry. Darcy says, I need somebody to show me step by step. Find that one.
Yeah.
Right there. Boom.
Okay.
This is so good. I really love this. So Darcy says, I need somebody to take me and show me step by step so I know. So here's one of my favorite things about a really good mentorship.
Yeah.
Okay. I just came up with the 5 R's that you should ask yourself before you join a mentorship. And one of them is resources. Okay. Resources outside of the mentor himself. Okay. I'm going to tell you right now, if I am a TTP student, if I am an Astro student, and holy shit, if I'm a sub 2 student, I can tell you this is true. My mentor is amazing. Okay. Cause I'm an Astro student. I'm a TTP alumni. But more important than the mentor themselves is, are there regional resources, other TTP students, other Astro students, other sub 2 students that I can text, I can call, I can go to Starbucks and I can say, hey, can I stop in on your operation? Can I bring you value? So Darcy, I'm telling you right now, you really need to get somebody regional. You need to learn this stuff, and then you need to be around a community. The campfire effect is so real, it's unbelievable. Okay, the further you go away from that campfire, the colder and colder it gets. You got to be as close to that campfire and be around as many people as you humanly can. That is what we need as humans, is connection. So do you have regional resources that can help you if you are the type of person who's a kinesthetic or a face-to-face, or as I like to say, a monkey see, monkey do type of learner? I want to be taken by the hand and I want to be shown what to do. One of my favorite things when I joined TTP and when I joined Astro, I went and linked up with TTP students. I still to this day do deals with Astro students that I met when I joined the mentorship, and I do deals with TTP students all the time. That's what you need. You need community and you need regional resources from that community.
And Darcy, just find an ugly house, put it to batch skip tracing, get the phone number for that house. It costs 15 cents an address, maybe less, depends. They run specials all the time. You get the phone number. Call them up and ask them if they would consider an offer. You know what is extremely powerful is you going out there, taking action and finding opportunities, and then bring it to people in your marketplace that can help you take it through the finish line, because it is the results that are your education. If you're stuck in the education loop, you're done. I mean, you're just done.
Yeah.
It's the action plus the results equals your education, not education plus action equals results. It's the action plus results is your education. That's where you want to learn. And it starts with just finding an ugly house, just one ugly house, and do whatever you can to talk to the homeowner. Even if they tell you no, just do that all the time. And it is inevitable that you will find opportunities. I have never heard of anybody, been around anybody that cannot be successful if they're just reaching out to people that own these distressed properties and seeing if they would consider an offer.
Hey, shout out Kelly Hanno. She says, Kelly Hanno helps run Wholesale Hotline. You guys don't see her behind the scenes, but she does a lot for the show. Give Kelly Hanno some love. She just made a comment to Darcy and said, DM me on IG and we'll find someone local to squad up with. Regional resources that have been trained, right? You don't want to just go to anybody that hasn't been filtered. You want to find good, hard working, amazing quality people to link in with, right? So by the way, we did have a request from one of my students, King of Queens 86. He says, I want to see what's on Brent's yellow or his pad.
There you go.
So guys, Brent does make comments and posts the whole time.
Always.
Okay. He's always taking notes. He wrote down on his pad of paper, he wrote down the personality styles, which are, again, what are they?
Which, by the way, I've known these since like 2005. Like, I know these back and forth and everything. I still love writing it down. I still love looking at it. I still love, I don't know, there's something magical when you put pen to paper.
Oh, it's the best feeling ever.
It makes it real.
It makes it so real. And then also he said, catch me up to speed. Okay. He said, how is the process of selling your home going? Right. These are things that Brent knows. He teaches, his team uses them. But sometimes when you're talking on a show, it's sometimes really nice to write it down because, again, it feels good.
Yeah.
Feels really, really good.
And it just sinks in. It just sinks in. Whenever I'm thinking, why am I struggling with this call? Why am I struggling with communicating or whatever else? I think, okay, what is the personality type? Oh, okay, got it. This is what I'm doing wrong. And that's the whole point of being versatile, right? So do we have Mr. July yet? Oh, let me see Mr. July real quick. This is my acquisition manager, Ryan Thornton in college.
Holy shit.
Look at him.
Is he the guy over on the lower right?
Yeah, he's in the back there.
Oh my gosh.
That's Northern Arizona University's.
He's been a closer for a long time.
He's been closing a lot of deals. With his wife, Brianna.
Yes.
With his wife.
Brianna, good, congratulations. You closed the deal. You closed the deal.
Yeah.
We've got over 400 people tuning in today between YouTube and Instagram. Do us all a favor, guys, and make sure that you like this video, share this on your socials, let everybody know that you're tuning into Wholesale Hotline every Monday night. This is a place to be.
Yep.
Hey guys, if you're on IG, I love you guys. I'm so grateful that you guys are on IG, but go over to YouTube. We are hanging out on YouTube. You got 400 plus people in the comments on YouTube. Go over there, squad
network.
up.
Go network.
Go network in the YouTube comments, guys.
Okay, good question, Modo. How do you
Modo.
Modo?
Is that
Modo?
is that like Mo money?
Yeah. How do you wholesale in a saturated market, and what list should you go after the best time and times to cold call?
Ooh, can I ask a prelude to that?
Yep.
Has there ever been a non-saturated market?
Nope.
Never that I've been in
Nope.
since 2004.
And what is it saying is what using the term saturated market is an immediate fear.
Yeah.
What you're saying to yourself is there's no room for me here.
Jared hit it. Saturation is hallucination. Here it is, Mo. I think what happens naturally is when we hear about wholesaling and we're not in the real estate industry, not in the real estate world, we're like, oh my gosh, I stumbled on something that's new and nobody knows about. And then you get into the community and you see all these people and you're like, oh wait, people know about this, right? It's just because it's like that activator, right? When you see a car that you want to buy and then you see that car all over the place type of thing. I think that's what we suffer from a lot. And so, well, what I would just say is there are more ugly properties than there are investors to go after.
Hey, Matt, will you highlight Yui Win? Yui is spelled D-U-Y. D-U-Y. Pronounced down a couple more. Oh, yeah. That's the one. That's the one. So Yui Win is a student of mine, highly analytical, quit his job on January 1
as an engineer.
Engineer.
Yep.
And he's Asian, by the way. That's as analytical as you get. Okay. So Yui Win quit his job from real estate full time. That's Yui's amazing. By the way, Yui's coming out to the premiere, Jamil.
Yeah.
He's one of the people that got 20 tickets. Last night I gave 20 tickets to the premiere of the TV show. I had to take 8 of my sisters off the list so I could give away 8 extra tickets.
We're gonna have some mad Morbies out there.
Hey, they're gonna find a way.
I just told them the premiere's canceled. They don't watch my social media.
You know who I got a confirmation from today?
Huh?
Mr. TTP.
Oh,
yes.
Yep.
I will be there. Will you guys let everybody that can't be there live, let them know what the title of your show is?
Go ahead, Pace.
Triple digit flip, baby.
Yeah,
it's all
that's
about
not strong.
It's all about every
that's
episode.
not strong.
Our goal is trying to make $100,000 or more on every fix and flip that we do together. And it's been a blast. Other than the fact that this is the worst mosquito situation in Phoenix in 25 years.
Yep.
Plus it was 115 degrees more days this summer than it's ever had. So we filmed outside the whole freaking summer. It was wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah.
So guys, if you don't have cable, now's time to get cable. If you do have cable and you got a DVR, set it right now. Set your DVR for noon Pacific and noon Eastern, October 2nd.
That's a Saturday.
Yes.
All right. Awesome.
Okay, so I got a couple of questions.
Yep.
So Yui Win hit on, because people in Modo said, what list is the right list?
Right.
What is the right list? Or is Yui Win correct? He said the best list is the one you actually work consistently.
It is. 80% of new real estate wholesalers or just real estate investors that are doing this and finding their own deals get it from their Driving for Dollars list. 80%. 80% get it from Driving for Dollars.
Their first deals.
List, yes. So that's how you start building it up. It's as simple as going after ugly properties and talking to their property owner. And listen, guys, 6 to 10% of the real estate market is in distress at all times. Look up the 2020 census. Over 10 million single family houses, just single family, have been vacant for over a year in this country. Like there could be 1 million of us and we still wouldn't even put a dent into the amount of distressed properties that are out there. I am telling you, it's not too saturated. There are more properties than there are investors. Just focus on your efforts and you're going to win. For sure. For sure.
So how do people get out of that mindset, Brent? Because it's definitely, I think, a mindset condition.
Yeah.
It's oversaturated. There's, no opportunity. There's very little leads. I mean, I see commonality. There was another individual named Nathan who had a very similar comment that was on the screen there a moment ago.
Yeah.
And again, nothing wrong with this, guys. We're not coming down on you. What we're saying is that recognize it for what it is. The fear is in your head. It's not a true representation of what's available as opportunities. The fear is in your head.
That's it. I mean, literally, The issue is if you're taking action and you're talking to new people every single day, your confidence goes way up because
Right.
you have good conversations. You start getting leads. And the first time you get a lead, you're like, oh my gosh, is this for real?
Right.
Like this is what people have actually been doing. This is absolutely bananas, right? I can't believe I could just pick up the phone and call someone. It's the times that we're not, throwing ourselves into it with blind faith that you were going to be successful, that gives you that time to worry about it. It gives you the time to overthink it and hallucinate. So
this one, Matt,
Jared, yeah.
don't freaking read my mind, dog.
Yeah.
Matt just read my mind. I wanted him to click on Lori Tell. She says, my fear comes from not knowing how much to offer. Now, a couple of things I'll say about this. Number one, if you're not watching Straight Outta Compton, this is one of the reasons why you're having a hard time with this. Is Jamil does a live every Sunday. I actually was a guest on his show yesterday.
Pace.
That was awesome.
Bro, we had a
Thank you for
blast.
That was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. So go over there. He'll comp addresses for you live, and he does it every single week. In fact, I tell my students, try and kick Jamil's ass on getting the comp done faster than him, because I'll give him the address and then he has to kind of talk through it and walk people through it. Do your best to try and beat him. Make it a game, and then tag him on Instagram and say, kicked your ass.
Yeah, I comped it faster than you. Great. Do that. Do that 10 times and you'll win.
You have a head start. That's the thing, is he's the fastest comper on planet Earth, but you have a head start because he has to walk people through what he's doing as he's doing it. That's the first thing I would say.
The point of the show is for them to be as good as you.
Yes.
Like, it's to catch up.
Yes.
Like that's
Be better than me. Be better than me. That's
be
what
faster.
I want.
That's the sign of the ultimate coach.
Yes.
You want them to be better. You know what I mean? It's not us versus. It's
right.
It's we're both comping.
Okay, so also Lori Tell, Jamil talks about repairs as well. Let me tell you guys a really quick story. I was a contractor for 10 years.
Yep.
Okay, licensed contractor for 10 years, did 7,000 renovations. Jamil and I find ourselves in Atlanta. What was it, 2 years ago, year and a half ago?
Yep.
And we go to one of his houses. He actually had a house in Atlanta that he was wholesaling. And I said, let's stop by the house and let's do a little friendly competition. Let's see who can get closest to the renovation cost fastest. So I go through. I take like 30 minutes. I'm going through room by room, computing everything. I got my calculator out. I got my this is 100% true.
Yeah. Jamil's outside, just crib walking and just like
100%,
just having fun.
Yeah. Yes, and so we meet back in the living room after a good 30 minutes. I'm like, bro, you're not going to walk through the house? He's like, he asked one question. He goes, "What's the square footage?" And basically, he comes up with the right number. We say our numbers at the same time. My number was like $35,010, and Jamil's number was $35,000.
We were literally like $10 or $15 apart from each other.
Right, and so there is an equation that helps out, especially with new people in this industry.
You have that breakdown that you can pop up that and I think we're pretty similar.
Yep.
I think yours is you put out some great PDFs. Where do people get those? I sent it to Mike and Jess and go, we need to do this. What are we doing?
Right?
Yeah, those great PDFs you put on your
on my
Facebook and Instagram.
Yeah, just guys, go to my Instagram and save all those. There's we've been really trying our hardest to take
do you have a
some
PDF
of the concept.
download or anything?
You know what? I don't have a.
You need to give those to Caleb.
I'm gonna download them and put them in mine.
They're really good. They're really good. So it's just information that comes out of my lives or comes out of my coaching calls, and then Emily regurgitates it into a beautiful PDF.
Yep.
Or if you'll pull this off, or at least, if you guys just want to take a picture of that, the way that I look at it is it's an easy rehab. It needs work, and wow, this is bad. Like, the properties that are wow, this is bad. And I think, it could go up from there. I
also known as oh shit.
Well, and
or triple digit
a little thing, a little thing here is add 20% to these numbers if you're in a price point that's above 400,000, because it's going to cost you more for fixtures. It's going to cost you more for appliances. People want more richer, they want better tubs and better shower heads and these type of things. So you can add 20%.
And you go to
and any
Jared
extra
Frankham.
Any extra one, go
$5 question.
Any extra like little things, add 5,000 to each one. But that should
So
help you.
this is a really good comment, because you made a comment about 80% of people get their first deal do it from driving for dollars, right? So the people that also talk about saturation, Jamil, are people that I would challenge, and I would say I would even bet you $100, or I'll bet you a TTP hoodie. He has plenty of them right here in this back closet.
Look
Okay,
at these.
Come on.
What a fit.
How soft is that?
It's the best.
they're amazing. I wear mine every time Jamil and I travel.
The
So
TTP guys know.
TTP.
Yep.
So here's the thing: I would challenge you, and I would send you a hoodie if you could drive 5 miles away from your house and not find 100 distressed properties.
Yep.
It is amazing when you actually open up your eyes and look at the houses and you go, okay, what is this? What's that? You could get 100 addresses in I'm not joking, 30 to 45 minutes minimum.
And it doesn't matter what area you're in. Pace came to pick me. I live in one of the best neighborhoods in Phoenix, and driving just around my area, we were able to find 30 distressed properties in under 30 minutes.
Oh, we were recording it on GoPro, and we were like talking through it. I think we would have done it in about 12 minutes. You would have found those properties. So here's the thing: is driving for dollars. Jared Frankham, you are a TTP student. Actually, he came out and spent the whole day
with each of us.
Yeah, with each of us. It was great. Jared, you're a great guy. I would say you probably need to train somebody to take that off your plate at this point, since you are doing 3 deals a month. But I would never stop doing driving for dollars because it does work. So why would you leave a strategy that's working? Just replace yourself and delegate. Then you can upgrade.
Matt, will you give me Brandon Mitchell right there? Yep, this is a Jamil.
I bring my deal to a realtor and they bring a buyer. Does the realtor get paid at closing, or does the realtor make a deal between them and their buyer for after they fix and flip the property to get? Oh, it's so good. So Brandon, it really just depends on the way this realtor is structuring their business. So we work with a ton of realtors at Keegley, and a lot of these realtors will bring buyers to the table. Now, what they will do is they will typically mark their commissions over and above our wholesale price to their buyers. So that's typically how they're getting paid if they're getting paid on the front end. It's very, very rare that a real estate agent is going to participate in either profits with their rehabber client, or that they're going to get promised to list the property at the end of the deal. Now, here's the thing. Most people who fix and flip have a family member or are licensed themselves, so they can minimize their burden for how much their selling costs are going to be. So, Brandon, I would say majority of the time, the realtor is going to get paid at closing, and they're going to get paid by adding on top of your wholesale price. So if you're working with realtors, leave enough meat on the bone for your agent to make a buck.
Let me go. Somebody asked for the breakdown that we did last week, I think, or maybe the week before, and walk me through this. Can you get the iPad on there? So somebody asked about the percentages, and I know that you've got it like literally figured out for the whole country.
Correct.
In different areas, but this is what I teach as a simple way to look at it. If a property is above 250,000, you're going to multiply it by 66%, and that should be what you could lock that deal up with and still make some profit.
66% of ARV.
Right.
And then, and what would they expect to make as an assignment fee with that formula?
Typically 10%.
Yep.
So it's all 10% here. This is why I push people to go after properties that are above 200,000. It used to be 150. I now want you to go after ARVs of 200,000. If you're just jumping on here, you don't know what an ARV is. When a property, it's an after repaired value. It means when the properties are gorgeous, they look perfect, they're pristine, they're flipped, this is what they go for. And then an ARV of 250 and below to 100,000, 50% of that ARV, or what you believe that the fix-up value would be. And then if it's 100,000 and below, you go at 25%, and you should be in the ballpark.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I'm getting a lot of love on Instagram about us being in the studio together, dude. People are doing sparklies. Look at the sparklies, guys. You guys are jealous of these
Do we have a
sparklies.
different angle? Does this camera work or no?
You don't want you're gonna hitting switches on
hit him with
damn.
We're gonna come at you different angles.
Does this angle make my arms look as big as TTP?
Yeah, wow, I
It
didn't
does.
realize you had that
Jeez,
juice,
man.
Pace.
Look at that.
guys-
Holy cow.
Damn.
If you put a TTP shirt on, that's what happens.
That's what happens. Listen, if you wear this shirt in public, people will ask you what you do, and then you tell them, and then you get deals. I'm telling you, it's like a uniform. Here you go. When virtually driving for dollars on Google Maps, are you guys worried about the Google photos being outdated?
It happens.
No, Sean.
It happens.
It certainly can happen, but that's like going through and filtering every list that you have based on, is this did this property sell in the last week or two or whatever else? Like, just go through it. I mean, click it and go.
Well,
and
here's
then move
here's
on.
what I've found. Okay. I've found that even if you go on Google Maps, you'll see that sometimes they're like 1, 2, and 3-year-old images.
Yep.
Mhm.
But what we know about distressed property owners is they didn't get into that distressed situation overnight.
Right.
A lot of these people who are hoarders, they've got cars in their backyard, they've got empty pools. They've had that for years. So even if Google data is not up to speed every single day, we still get deals from it. We actually have a virtual assistant running ours. All of our driving for dollars is done by batch driven. You guys got some cool stuff.
Yeah, so I've got my disposition manager, Jeremy Thornburg,
I have an answer.
who is averaging over 40,000, 42, 43,000 a deal. He just sold one for 67 in Litchfield Park this morning. He has a comp question for me, and I'm going to pass it on to Jamil. On a 2-story condo, there isn't any other 2-story condos in the complex. Is there a deduction compared to its single-story buddies at same square footage and bedrooms?
Did he
Never
know you
seen
were
this
on Wholesale
before.
Hotline right now?
He knows it. He knows he's going to get the juice.
Amazing.
This is a tough one.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So and it's going to be different than if this was single family.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, single family houses that are single level tend to sell 15 to 20% higher.
Say it again.
15 to 20% higher
Mm-hmm.
than the equal sized 2-story. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So a rancher will sell for 15 to 20% higher than the same size 2-story in the same subdivision. This is where it changes, is in multifamily.
Okay.
Multifamily, what ends up happening is, we need to know, does this building have an elevator?
Okay.
If this building has an elevator, then it has attracted those people that have mobility issues.
Mm.
If it has mobility, if it has an elevator and it has people buying in it that have mobility issues, the 2-story could be detrimental.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side of that, though, if you have a 2-story townhome, or like what's townhome style in multifamily,
Yep.
you might have what they call like a premium,
Yep.
premium unit in
Mhm.
that, because you could have views, you could have a balcony, you might have just way more space than the other units. And so you might actually get an additional value because of the 2-story. So you need to pay attention. Is the building being mainly inhabited by people that are in an older generation? Do they have, access to different amenities that signal to you? Like, for instance, Scottsdale Shadows
Yep.
out here in Scottsdale and Hayden. You guys familiar with the building?
Of course.
So they've got units in there, and you can tell that is a building that caters to people that are older. Okay, and because that building caters to people that are older, if you had a 2-story unit in that, you'd get creamed.
Crushed.
You'd get creamed.
Yep.
But if you're in South Scottsdale
Mm-hmm.
and you're attracting a millennial buyer,
And you're having fun.
and you're having
You're
fun,
at the clubs.
and you want to,
You're having some.
you want to invite some,
You're having some drinks.
some handsome Daniels over to
Some,
your house,
some Mr. July's.
some Mr. July over to your spot for a nightcap,
That's it.
and a view of the town.
Ooh.
You might be able to get a little bit more for your property because you have that. So yes, it does make an effect, but Jeremy, we need to know a little bit more. What's the location of this property? What's the primary buying demographic? That'll tell you whether or not you need to add or subtract the 15 or 10% to your offer.
Awesome. Man, Joseph, I have not been asked that in a while, and I love that you asked it. Talk to people.
Talk
to
how
people.
many TTPs can you see on one screen?
I actually get this question in like out and about because people are just curious. But on this, that's fantastic. Talk to people, Joseph. It's the foundation of being a real estate entrepreneur is your ability to communicate with different personality types, different situations, and help them and help solve whatever problem people have, both on the buy side and the sell side. When you're going to buy the property and go for to the property owner and speak to the property owner, you're helping them out of the stress and anxiety that they have with that property. And on the flip side, an investor that either wants to add that to their portfolio or add a really good project to flip, they need somebody to go out and find find those properties. Typically, they're not going to find them themselves. That's what it is. It's talking to people on both sides so that we can fit in the middle and solve that problem.
TTP also stands for trained to purchase properties. Trained to pounce.
Yeah.
Also stands for take to pace. Take your deals to pace.
Did you see the one that was triple profit?
Ooh.
Yeah, something triple profit. It was good. Somebody put it in there.
I went and took my first pilot's license.
Incredible.
thing
He's a
today.
crazy man.
And somebody DMs me. He's like, "Oh, flying for dollars now, huh?"
That's great.
Faces is just going to jump out of the plane and
He's
parachute
gonna
down.
parachute in and be like, "Hey, I'm here to buy your house."
That's definitely going to be the new
That's an
Facebook ad.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Yep.
I love Jose's question. Does your price to a buyer account for acquisition closing costs, carrying costs, and disposition closing costs
Great
with
question.
a realtor? That's a very, very involved question, Jose. Thank you for asking it. So typically when you're wholesaling a property, your price is net to seller, meaning that your buyer is going to give you that net price. So they're expecting to pay closing costs. So yes, that price to the buyer doesn't accommodate for the closing costs. Your buyer will end up having to pay, and they typically pay all of the closing costs. So that's something to keep in mind when you're pricing your property. Don't price your property so high that you haven't accommodated for the capacity of your buyer to be able to absorb those closing costs.
Yep.
Now, with respect to carrying costs, no. I'm always assuming that my buyer is going to pay cash. If they're going to pay hard money, that's something that they need to take into consideration when they're running their numbers. So I'm not going to start adding my buyer their hard money fees into my equation, because a lot of buyers pay cash. Some of them use lines of credit with low interest rate. You never know the funding source. Some of them might have JV partners that are coming in with the cash. Like we just did a deal with a music producer out of LA where they brought all of the funds to purchase the property for us. They gave us all of the funds to do the renovation for us. We made almost $300,000 in profit on the deal.
Don't tell people our secrets.
And then 50% of that went to
Where was the deal at?
in West Phoenix.
Really?
No,
Well,
Central.
Central.
Oh,
Central.
nice.
Yeah. Yep. You'll actually
West for you Arcadia guys.
Yeah, you'll actually
Yeah.
You'll it's one of the houses we do on our show.
Oh, well, don't tell too much.
I can't say too much.
What do you think of this? This is a great question.
What do you do if you are wholesaling a home that has an extra room that does not have a permit?
You can't. I'm gonna guess. You can't count it.
You cannot. You cannot, but you can count it when you sell it, but you don't count it when you buy it. Because you might be asked to tear that down, especially in California. In California, they do these pre-closing inspections. And if there's any additional property or any additional add-ons, ADUs, or anything that aren't existing on the original permits, they make you tear that shit down. So you can't use it. Now, in Arizona, it's 50-50. You might have good construction. Pace and I were trying to buy a house not too long ago where he's like, bro, we can't buy this. This addition was made by a complete crackpot.
Yeah.
Right. So when you see situations like that, yes, you might spend money to bring the construction value of that addition up. So I don't want to count it when I'm buying it, but when I'm selling it, I'm going to show the buyer that there might be an opportunity for them to add value.
Well, and there's certain appraisal things too.
Correct.
Right? They need to have air conditioning.
They do.
Right?
So if they're not ducted
they
for
need to be
AC,
ducting.
they don't count it.
They need to follow all the regular, egress and out. You got to be able to escape if there's a fire, right?
Correct.
You have to be able, I think, and a lot of times the appraisers won't count step downs.
That's why you got to level it out.
If it used to be a patio, or if it used to be a garage
Or an
a
Arizona
carport.
room. Or even an Arizona room for that matter.
Well, I don't know.
They don't know how many
what it
people
is.
what Arizona rooms are.
It's basically like a closed-in porch.
Yeah.
Florida has a lot of them. They just put their pools inside of it.
Hey guys, give Matt some love. By the way, he's like unbelievably helpful today.
Will you get that new Yeti too?
The one
When you get a
he's
chance.
looking for one for me that I thought was really, really good. I would say it's my favorite question of the day.
Okay.
Ooh, my favorite, and it's a Jamil question.
Mm-hmm.
I know how I would answer it. But you'll find it. Here's you'll find it. I'm going to ask the question.
Okay.
Should I
Mm-hmm.
learn how to comp?
That's new Yeti. It's down.
Oh, it's new
Yep.
Yeti. Okay. Should I learn how to comp before I do wholesaling? And I'm going to tell you the answer for me was no. I leveraged Jamil for like 2 straight years to do my comping for me. And I focused on what I was good at because I knew my position on the bus was to go talk to people, TTP that shit, and lock up deals. And then I would go to you and I'd say, hey, what should I buy this for?
Right.
That was like the majority of probably my first 100 deals was like Jamil doing my comping and saying, hey, if you buy this at 200 or less, we both make money. Right.
I feel like people are getting more energetic with us being together in the
Oh my
comments.
God,
even.
dude.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I
man.
haven't felt this kind of energy even just doing the show since
Well-
the old days.
Well, shit, you rang the bell 15 times.
I
You
mean-
get that. That's vibrations.
It
baby.
is. It is. Hold on, let's check what this flamethrower can do.
Yeah. As Matt gets.
You're going to light everyone.
That's right. That is the Boring Company flamethrower. No joke.
So Jamil, what is the answer to that? Should I learn how to comp and like be perfect at comping before I start wholesaling?
I think it's important that you learn it and you have it be a part of your curriculum. But look, don't let anything stop you from taking action. Jump in the pool. Jump in the pool.
I think
It's important that you learn how to comp because it's the foundation
Yeah.
of the real estate business. But as Pace had said, he really, really relied on Keegley. He relied on me for a buy price for an entire year. And we have plenty of new wholesalers that reach out to Keegley reps every single day, asking for buy prices, asking for help comping. Get help. Learn about it. Learn about it and squat up with people. And that's the reason why we do Wholesale Hotline.
Mhm.
The reason we do Wholesale Hotline is we bring all of our communities together, Astro Flipping, TTP, Sub 2, and we help one another with whatever that situation is. I got a ton of Astro Flipping students that are like, I need help with creative deals.
Mhm.
Every time, I'm not saying to them, let me show you how to do it. I say, squat up with a Sub 2 student and go get help. Do the deal together. So if you're asking that question, you obviously need to squat up with somebody, work with somebody from Astro Flipping, work with somebody from Sub 2 or TTP, and they will show you. And also tune in on Sunday to Straight Outta Comping on my YouTube channel.
Ooh, Modo, this is an interesting one because I think I'm a little controversial on this. Jamil gave me some advice on this one. I provide a proof of funds to all of my students from my own personal bank account.
Mm-hmm.
And it has like my account number and everything on it. I usually release one every single month, and I give my students permission to use it as their funding partner, not as their business partner, but as their funding partner. And so if you're not a Sub 2 student, or let's say you're not an Astro or TTP student for that matter, where do I go? What do I do for like a proof of funds?
Well, there's a great hard money lender out there called Kogo Capital, COGO Capital.com. Go to KogoCapital.com. They charge you $7, and they will give you a proof of funds that'll be good for 30 freaking days. Yes, you will need one if you're doing deals with realtors. They will require you submit a POF.
100%. And then just do a bunch of deals so that you have it in your bank account. And then you don't need it.
Yep.
And then you have your proof of funds. It's called your bank account statement. So,
But when you're getting started, you need backing, and that's why you have hard money lenders. They back you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with doing that, by the way, right? When you go to a hard money lender and you get a pre-qual letter from them, they are actually backing you.
When you were grinding,
Yes.
early on, when you were going to all these agents telling them, send me your deals, send me the deals, did they want a proof of funds from you?
Every time.
Every time.
And guess what I
They
gave
said,
them?
send it over.
Send it over. One of my good buddies, Noah Brocious over from Capital Fund, I would just send him a text message and I'd have a pre-qual or a letter in my email immediately.
Who's Kogo Capital?
It's they're actually in the family mastermind. I don't remember the name of the principal of Kogo Capital, but
$7 proof.
$7 proof of funds. There, I solved your problem.
Boom.
There you go.
Isn't it crazy how things changed since like 2004 when you started and 2002 when you started? Like you couldn't even comp properties in 2002. You walked your dog for a deal. And like same thing with you. The technology's stupid.
As a real estate agent, right? Mike Mahoney Brian Mahoney,
Yeah.
one of your franchisees.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. Yes.
He was like, I need to get deals. And we're like, we'll get deals. He's like, put offers on anything that's over 90 days old. We were faxing faxing.
Wait, what's faxing?
Stacks of offers all day long. And we'd get some here and there, but they were, rough and we didn't know what the hell we were doing. But yeah, I mean, it's just now we have everything like at our fingertips. You literally can call somebody up that's a stranger, have a conversation with them, send them an offer that same day, have that offer signed and sold to somebody else for 10, 15, 20,000. Now, this isn't typical, but you could do it in the same day.
Yeah.
You guys do it in the same day 5 times a day or 20 times a day or 50 times a day.
Before DocuSign became a thing, Tim Wynn and I used to drive around the valley with an actual printer.
Oh, yeah.
In
our
your
car.
And then we would print out a contract, we would scan it in, and then we would email it all from the car.
Yep.
Crazy, right?
Tim to win, huh?
Tim Wynn.
Yeah,
Yep.
crushes.
Good old Tim.
Mm-hmm.
Tim freaking Wynn. Amazing.
Nice. Will you go back to Brandon Mitchell's question right there? No, up. There it is. I love it. 3 more up.
It says, are you guys?
Oh, these days, do you guys recommend a real
Brandon
estate
Mitchell,
license for
Matt.
credibility purposes in the future? Yes. Get your license.
No. Brandon.
Get your license.
It's like, is he buffering back there? What's going on? Are you guys ever going to go back to the call-in line?
Let's do it.
We can do it with this technology.
We
We
can
don't
do
even
it.
have to touch it. We can do it right now.
Yeah. Can we give somebody a phone number to
Yeah,
call in
Jim
right
Mills.
now?
Give everybody Jim Mills' phone number.
Or is that, Matt, is it through the other thing?
Okay.
Woo!
Okay.
What happened to us?
Okay. Anyway. So yeah, we could do that. We'll do a special thing.
Okay.
And we'll figure it out. We'll coordinate. Guys, these guys have been like really, really, really working overtime, not only in their coaching program, not only in their wildly successful real estate businesses, but also putting together a whole season for triple digit flip. And so now that that's kind of settling down, we'll find some more time to be able to do this, which I think is great. I think having those live questions would be dope.
Would you call Triple Digit Flip a drama, a comedy, an educational docuseries, or all of the above?
All of the above. Not so much drama.
Not drama, not in a bad way.
I mean,
drama.
our houses like go through some challenges and stuff like that.
dramatic challenges.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Yeah, you're right. It has some drama in there. But
There's
there's no
something for
villain.
everybody
There's
in the
no
show.
villain, right? In a
There's
lot of
no
these
villain.
shows, like they paint people as a villain and they do all this stuff. That's not what this show's about.
We don't have a Chum Lee.
Yeah, we don't have a Chumlee. I mean, I might end up being Chumlee in season 2. You never know. Ooh.
Sally, is there a way to comp other than in combo with PropStream when you can't find any similar sold homes in the area other than reaching out to buyers? First time tuning in live and I'm hooked. Well, Sally Inkheart, cool name, even better question.
I feel like that
I
comes
think
from
your
the
name's better, but-
medieval times.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Inkheart.
Yeah. Is there a way to comp other than in combo with PropStream when you can't find other areas that have sold the property? Well, I mean, first, Sally, obviously you want to start in the neighborhood and then expand out. What do you suggest? Quarter mile, half mile?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like going anything farther out than a quarter mile,
Yeah.
but if you have to,
Yeah.
go half a mile, then go half a mile. But beyond that, here's the thing, Sally. If you are not seeing a lot of close comps near the property that you're looking at, then there means that the area that you're looking at doesn't have a lot of liquidity.
Yep.
And that means there's not going to be a lot of buyers. And so you have to really determine, are you wasting your time with this house? See, the thing is that not a lot of rehabbers or buy and holders want to buy a house and be, in butt fuck nowhere. Sorry, excuse my language, but that's the truth. So make sure you're not doing that.
I think it's Egypt.
Egypt. Yeah. Okay. In Egypt. Nobody wants to buy a pyramid in Egypt. Right. So okay.
Nobody wants to buy a pyramid.
Anyway,
anyways,
Yep.
they don't want to buy in BFE. Okay. So you have to just be honest with yourself and say, does this property attract with it liquidity? Will it bring a buyer to the table? And if it doesn't look like that's happening over there, then no. Now, there's conversely, if you're in a non-disclosure state, and if you don't know if you're in a non-disclosure state, go to my Instagram, and I put a little infographic that had, might be able to pull it up right now. And it'll tell you if you are in a state that has that is non-disclosure. And if you're in a state that's non-disclosure, sometimes it's very difficult to pull comps, even from PropStream or batch leads. And so you want to know what I do then?
What do you do?
I look at actives.
Actives.
I look at actives in
What's
the
on the
area
market?
for sales, because Zillow will show you that.
You go right to Zillow.
And that'll tell me if what the actives are sitting on and if there's any pendings. And then I use those pendings as my comps.
Or could I maybe just squat up with a realtor or something?
Or you could squat up with a realtor, but now you've given control away and you might have to move a little bit slower. So, it depends on if your realtor's in your team or if they're in sub 2, TTP or Astro, and they're just go-getters. That could help.
Awesome. Pace, you got this?
Trail, ENTV.
So good.
I need help, guys. Seller is afraid that she will lose her disability benefits.
Will you please read that right?
Trail and
I need help, guys.
Oh, yeah. I need help, guys. Seller is afraid that she will lose her disability benefits and Section 8 benefits from the sale of her property. I just answered this question the other day. I actually had my CPA come on and answer this question in detail.
Okay.
So it depends on how they do this. It depends on it. The problem is this answer depends. So let's say this. Let's say she bought it for $200,000 and 4 years later she sold it for $200,000 and she got $200,000 in her pocket. Guess what? She had zero gain. So just because she brought in $200,000 doesn't mean she had a gain. It's the gain that alters the benefits. Okay. So that's something that's very important. You need to understand that. You need to have that conversation with that seller and say, well, how much are you actually making? The second thing is, this is why creative finance is so amazing, is that you can actually buy the property from the seller on seller finance and structure a payment that will not affect her benefits. Okay.
Wow.
Crazy, right? Crazy. So Trail Entiv, I don't know if that's a nickname or if you're just trying to trip me up, but you've succeeded. At the end of the day, what I would do, Trail, is I would DM me at Pace Morby on Instagram. DM me. I answer all my DMs myself. And give me a little bit more context. Tell me what's going on and I'll direct you in the right answer and maybe even help you squat up with one of the sub 2 students who also watched that CPA live, which did not go on my YouTube. It just went into my private sub 2 students. So it's about how much gain do they have and how are you structuring the deal?
Put that question up. I love this. That was awesome. Amen. I need help. I just got off the phone with a homeowner. He said he would not mind selling only if the price is right. I went through the script, but he does not want to give me his price. What do I do? A couple of things. First of all, the likelihood that this person is going to sell at a discount is very small. Okay.
You can tell there's no motivation.
Because, well, look at the verbiage. Would not mind selling. That's not need. That's not want. That's not going to. That is, wouldn't mind selling the property if the price was right. So what I like doing with these ones, Eamon Ra, I like to just throw a shot across the bow and kind of shake them up a little bit. And the way that I do that is I say, I'm looking at what your neighbors in similar condition to your property have sold for, and it looks like they're selling for around. And then go back to that breakdown. If it's above 250,000, hit them with 66%. If it's below 250 and above 100,000, hit them with 50%. If it's below 100,000, hit them with 25%. And that should shake them loose. If they don't want to do business with you, or they don't think that that's going to be an offer, it saves you a lot of time because you're not like, oh, I have this lead and maybe something can happen here. This gets them off of your plate and leaves room in your mind and in your leads, your pipeline of leads for the people that will actually do business with you.
I love that answer. Here's an answer that I would also give depending on if I'm feeling frisky or not. Okay. So which is always. If I'm on the phone with a seller, I love answering this. So if a seller says, yeah, I wouldn't mind selling if it was for the right price. And I say, well, okay, great. Well, what would that magic number be? Right. And they go, I'm not going to tell you my number. No. I would then say, oh my gosh, you're right. the last thing you ever want to do is name your price, right? That's like negotiations 101.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it weird that you wouldn't name your price on the largest asset that you have? Meanwhile, everybody in the world is going on Craigslist and OfferUp and throwing their price out. If you're willing to put your price on Craigslist for a car, why wouldn't you be willing to tell me what your price is for your house? And Jamil's watched me do this in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Do you remember this? The guy who took us to that appointment goes, I couldn't get the number out of that guy for 4 months.
In about 5 minutes, he had 90,000 out of her mouth.
Yep.
Right. So, well, what that means is the seller said, well, finally the seller gave us the number. It took about 2 minutes. And within 5 minutes of them giving us the number, we got 90 grand off of that number. So we use the Craigslist analogy of like, well, why would you sell a car and name your price, but you won't name your price on the largest asset you have? It kind of seems backwards, right? You would want to make sure you establish exactly what you're looking for, that magic number. So even if it's like crazy, even if it's unreasonable, let's start at your number and have that conversation. So use those words, like go back and rewatch this, memorize it, get those words out of your mouth, practice during, you're in the shower, you're driving to work, whatever, practice those words. I promise you, it will get your sellers to give you a number if you use an analogy or a third-party story that makes it seem stupid that they wouldn't give you the number. Have you made your seller feel stupid that they didn't give you the number?
Love it. We put up the iPad real quick. Somebody's asking for this breakdown. There you go. Very, very nicely written. 250 plus 66, 250 below 50, 100 and below 25.
I want you to
And then
do all my tattoos.
do what?
I want you to do tattoos for me.
As long as you're like a flat right in front of me and I just angle it like this with a tiny pen. Done.
So Dominique Shaw, great question. How do you account for a hot market? It seems like properties are selling for $40,000 to $50,000 more than what PropStream is evaluating them at. Yeah, because those are retail sellers.
Mm-hmm.
We're not looking for retail sellers. This is such a fundamental, basic truth to wholesaling is we are looking for motivated sellers that have distressed situations or distressed homes.
Yep.
If somebody's selling for $40,000 or $50,000 over what PropStream is evaluating them, do you think that that's a motivated seller or in a distressed situation?
Not a chance. You know how many times I'm on Straight Outta Compa and somebody would put up an address in the chat and I put it up and it's like a beautiful house that's listed on the MLS
all the time.
That's got like, it's totally fully renovated. And I think,
why is that?
well, I think that they're missing the point. I think this is where wholesalers make a divergence in their brain of what we are actually doing, guys. And write this down. We are not lowballing people stealing equity. We are paying 100% of as is value. And that value is based off your property being in distressed condition. That's all I buy. I'm only buying houses in distressed condition or dated in original condition. That's it.
And the buyer determines the value anyway.
Yes.
If there's not a ready, willing, and able buyer, things don't get sold. I don't care if it's that Gatorade bottle, this bottle, the phone, whatever. If they put gasoline at $10,000 a gallon, we're riding bicycles.
100%.
That's just a fact.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Why is it that so many people that think I want to get into real estate, they go to like Zillow, they go to PropStream, they're looking at like just houses that are listed. What is that about?
It's the first, I mean, it's exciting. You can see properties. You can see maybe somebody missed out and didn't see the ugly house that's next to the nice house. And maybe I could call them up and the information's right there. The barrier to entry is very low. But I didn't know that you could do this. Like I was in real estate for a long time. I mean, I get it. It's different from, 8-9 years ago, but as you're getting into something from outside, you don't know. You don't even know what any of these things were. You don't know what batch leads is.
Right.
You don't know what, you don't know what skip tracing is. You don't know what, some people don't know what escrow is and escrow
believe
money
me, dude,
and all that.
Oh my gosh. I did this free training for my son, Asher. Right. And I had like 500 people on this live. We had 4,500 people register for this thing. And I sat there and answered what escrow title and all that kind of stuff is for an hour. And all these people were like, oh my gosh, you're just changing my whole life. I now understand everything. And then 5 minutes later, somebody joins the Zoom and goes, what's title and escrow?
Mhm.
And I was like, no, I promise you guys, the information's out there. You just got to go look for it. But at the end of the day, the most important thing I would say that we have to leave people with is that if you're going after people that are listed on the MLS
Mhm.
or listed on Zillow or listed on anything else, if they have actively marketed their property, do you think that there's any likelihood you're buying that house at a discount?
Not likely, no.
Mm-mm.
I've not been able to buy a FSBO since 2012,
Yeah.
like a for sale by owner,
Mhm.
but I can buy for rent by owners every month.
Yeah.
So we did we bought a deal a couple weeks ago from a realtor with a listed property. Okay. But we didn't go on MLS to find it. Okay. We went to the realtor and we said, what deals do you have?
Yeah.
What do you have that's not selling? Right. Because again, I'm looking for distress
Mhm.
and I'm wanting the agent to tell. So the agent tells us, this is something Jamil teaches incredibly well. The agent says, well, we can't sell the house. We don't know what's going on, whatever. The agent made a mistake on the listing.
Mhm.
The agent made a mistake on the listing and they were convinced that the house was worth way more. They kept dropping.
Yep.
They ended up fire selling it to us. We assigned it to somebody else for $20,000 that also doesn't look on MLS. So my point is this: we found a distressed situation. Okay. Even though it was on the MLS, we're not looking for houses that are on the MLS, because if somebody's willing to hire a realtor
Mhm.
and wait 3 to 6 months to sell their property, it means they are not in a distressed situation.
That's it.
However, I will reach out to real estate agents all day long and develop relationships and network with people so that at some point when they get a listing that's just absolutely credit, you probably make $500,000 to $1 million a year doing this.
Mhm.
This exact
Like,
model.
this is the same
A
strategy.
year?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
on
a
that,
month.
on-
Well, yeah,
well,
but
from one person.
From one person.
Oh,
Yeah, from I'm thinking
Okay.
I'm thinking Monique Walker.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we did $1.3 million in assignments with Monique Walker in a
Right.
year.
Right.
In a year,
But
with
you're not
one agent.
But here's the thing: is you're not going to the MLS to get those deals.
No,
You're
sir.
going to Monique Walker.
Real
Correct.
quick, how does Monique get her deals?
She cold calls
She TTPs.
every single morning. You know what she calls? Canceled and expireds.
Yep.
That's it.
Monique and I joined TTP at the same day.
Mm-hmm.
She
No,
calls. She
no,
calls.
Monique. Listen, Monique's been calling since like 2008.
She's
or
like
something.
she's one of Mike Ferry's
Yeah.
best
Yeah.
students. And Mike Ferry teaches to call canceled and
for
expired
realtors. Yeah.
for realtors.
Yep.
And she essentially calls these folks if they canceled or their listing expired with an agent. These people were already in the market of selling, and guess what? She is now the person who's
Let me answer
telling.
this real quick.
Okay.
She's the one who's telling the seller that their agent got it wrong.
Right.
Because that's all that's happening when a deal expires or cancels.
Mhm.
The agent didn't have the backbone
Yeah.
to be honest with
That
their
was nice.
seller.
You held back.
I
was
did.
Nice. That was nice. Boone, here's the thing: 199 people will. Yes, they will. They will be insulted. One of them won't. You'll get one deal out of every 200 people that you talk to and ask if they will consider an offer on their property if you're calling on distress lists. That's just a fact. So here's the thing, Boone. Listen, you can't look at it as they're insulted because of this and that and whatever else. A lot of people are they just have different expectations or a different situation. They don't find what we do valuable, and that's fine. 1 out of 200 will. All right. That's 0.5%. So you got to find that person and just keep finding that person, finding that homeowner, and that's how you build up this business.
That's like expecting to go on one date and finding the love of your life.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like it's a little bit delusional. So David Britt, I think going back to Monique Walker, I'm going to ask Jamil if he would bring Monique Walker on as a guest.
Oh my
on the
God,
show.
she's got to be on this
Because
show.
I really think that she could come. You guys brought in over $1 million in profits by the relationship. I've traveled with you, and you're sitting there texting Monique, and you go, "Just made $100 grand,"
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
and I'm like, "Guess who's buying Whataburger tonight?"
Total dude. And you know, like I was telling you on Straight Outta Compton, Monique is the type that she needs an answer from me immediately. So
Yes.
she sends me a text with an address, and if I didn't respond to her in 3 hours, you know what she did?
Calls your wife.
She called my wife.
Mhm.
She was like, "Where's Jamil?
Jamil?
I
We
need a
have
number.
Money to make.
We have money to make. Tell this guy to figure out whatever
mean,
he's got going on and call me back."
If you want to talk about a driver,
Oh, she's
Oh
a
my
driver.
gosh.
So,
Oh my
so
gosh.
here's the thing: is as a real estate agent, how do I talk to my broker about being a wholesaler when they say you are not representing the best interest of the seller as a wholesaler? I'm not even going to pretend to answer that properly, but I would make a suggestion: maybe find a wholesale friendly broker. Next thing I would do is I would take advice from Monique Walker. Is she a broker?
She's not a broker. She's with Remax, which is the most strict brokerage out there. And she's explained to her broker. And again, David, here's the thing. I think the mindset is the fundamental mistake here. Because not you, but the broker's mindset is that wholesaling is not paying 100% of value for condition.
Right.
And that's just it. All that you're doing as a real estate agent is you're bringing a buyer to a property that would not traditionally be able to be sold to a retail buyer.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. And so you're explaining to the broker what I'm doing here is in the best interest of this person, because I'm bringing a buyer.
What about this, Jamil? And this has happened, and this has been a real tricky mind thing. And I know that we're at time, but how about the time when a property is in okay shape, but the seller just wants like nothing for it?
Or they just don't care.
They're like, hey, listen, we had this happen. The family was there. This gal wanted 19,000. No, she wanted 24,000 for her house. She had owed 19,000. She wanted 5,000 to walk away. She wanted 24,000, right? And I'm sitting there like, wait a second. I'm looking at the comps. This thing's like 165, right? 24,000,
right?
165. And I go to my acquisition manager at the time. It was Luke Rodful, and I said, "Look, what is going on here? Does the family know? Is she okay? Is she older? Like, what is going on here?" And he's like, "The family's here. We're all sitting down." They're like, "Do you know what's happening here?" And she goes, "Yeah, she only wants $5,000 to walk away. She doesn't care about the money."
There's those people, and then there's also the situation that maybe she didn't have the resources to fix the property to get it to the 165
all the time.
Right.
And so,
of course.
So for her at this point right now, 25 and walking with $5,000 is amazing.
But what are we supposed to do? Say, this is early on. I'm a realtor, like in it, kind of. It's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I'm like, well, if you list it, you could get this amount. She's like, no, I just want $5,000 for my house and move on. I'm moving in with my family. I don't care.
That's great. It would be as crazy as me going up to. So I love McDonald's, right?
It happens all the time.
And every Big Mac tastes different. They do sometimes. So sometimes they're similar, and sometimes they're really good. When it's a really good Big Mac, do I walk back up and say, I want to pay you double for that Big Mac? It was so damn good. No. You take the Big Mac and you eat it for the price they advertise it at. Well, that's what you do.
That's
business.
The most interesting thing is the biggest deals, they give you the price. They give you the price. You go, this is the price you want? Do you know what it is on Zillow? Do you know what it's listed at? I mean, whatever else.
Assuming I could come up to that price, what's our next step?
Right.
That's the most used closing line in our company is assuming we could give you that price. What would be our next step? That's the nail in the coffin, baby.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
By the way, who's going to take me to get a Big Mac? Because that sounds
so
hella good.
Hey, I got to take you home, don't I?
Well,
let's go get Big Macs.
Unless you want me to Uber.
Let's go get Big Macs.
You got to take them all the way?
Yeah, I don't care.
You want to have cake with
Corbin? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to drive for dollars on the way.
There you go.
Hey, it's Corbin's birthday. You want to pick up a cake on the way home?
Heck yeah.
Well, that's it. Guys, thank you. That is Wholesale Hotline number 83. When the guys start talking about Big Macs, we shut this down. Somebody put, I'm really glad that Pace gets to stay focused on the show and not just be eating the whole time.
Oh, it's because I had some freaking hummus a couple weeks ago. I hadn't eaten all day long.
Come on, they were ragging on you for that.
They're getting them,
bro.
Oh my God, is that the one where I wasn't there?
Guys, if you guys can, I don't know if it helps. Do you know if it helps spread the word? If people hit the like button, does it show up for YouTube or anything? Guys, if you don't mind hitting that like button, we have almost 400 people here. We'd love to see it. We've got 31 people that have hit the like button. If you guys could do that, that'd be fantastic. This is a spirit of collaboration. This is not competition. The more people that you can squad up with, the more money that you are going to make. So spread the word. Take a picture of us, put it onto your stories. Spread it. If you have people that you really want to support your dream of being a real estate entrepreneur and having that financial freedom, then share this with everybody so they know what's coming down. They know what's going to happen to you in your life, and they're there to support you. So it's all about that. We love you guys. Until next week, Pace will be flexing.
TTP.
TTP. We'll
Always be flexing.
Always be flexing.
That's it. Love you guys.
Wholesale Hotline
See ya.
83. We out.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.